Greetings everyone, how's it going? Well, got a couple brand spanking new DVD updates for you before I get into all the other videos that I've been talking about doing for ages. So let's get right to it, shall we? Today on the Multimedia Chronicles. Bond. Blue Bond. Yeah, cheesy as hell, right? I'm probably going to make that the title of this video too, just because I can. Now, of course, the end of March was very exciting for Bond fans because we got Wave 2 of the James Bond Blu-ray releases. Now, for those of you who have been sleeping under a rock or who just don't pay much attention to Blu-ray stuff, all the classic James Bond movies have been getting re-released on Blu-ray in beautiful high-definition quality. And not just straight Blu-ray ports either. These are like full high-definition remasters done by none other than Lowry Digital. Lowry Digital, of course, is like one of the top companies in the world for transferring films to digital format, and their quality control is the stuff of legend. So needless to say, these new Blu-ray editions of the classic Bond films, Bond has never looked better. One thing I'm particularly pleased to say is that all the beautiful classic film grain is fully intact, as it should be with films done on film, transferred from film. Yeah, anybody who listens to my podcast will know that I absolutely hate digital noise reduction with a passion, and I really wish that studios would stop using it. So, hey, if you're as anti-DNR as I am, check out the Bond films, because you won't be disappointed. Some additional information that you may or may not be aware of. In terms of extras and content, there's no difference between the Blu-ray editions of the James Bond movies and the Ultimate editions of the James Bond movies. They've got all the same extras, all the same content. So if you're just looking to do a high-def upgrade, it's a good path to go, because you know you won't be missing anything. I guess the only downside is there's not really anything new that we haven't seen before, but the upside is we get to see all of Lowry's beautiful work restoring these old films in all its high-definition glory, which is great. The other thing is some of the extras actually have got high-def upgrades as well. So it's not just straight, most of them are standard def because they're older extras from older editions and they've just been ported over. But some of the newer ones have actually been upgraded to 1080p as well. So pretty cool. Now, of course, as you know, I've been collecting them in the Steelbooks, limited edition Steelbook editions. And the latest wave is no exception. So we have Goldfinger here, nice, lovely Steelbook, and this time around they seem to have gotten their act together as far as putting them in single disc cases instead of double disc cases, which is quite nice. Next one was one of Annetta's, because you know Annetta's collecting the Roger Moore ones, and that was of course, sorry, Moonraker, because I should show it to you, eh? Moonraker, if I remember correctly, this is actually the first James Bond movie I ever saw. I kind of grew up with the Roger Moore ones, and it wasn't until quite later that I saw the Sean Connery ones. Since then, I have to say Sean Connery is definitely my favorite. I just like his portrayal of the character more. Less cartoony, I guess, less comic booky, and more just kind of gritty and down to earth. And then, of course, we have the second last Pierce Brosnan one. For some reason, they seem to be releasing Pierce Brosnan's in reverse order. The previous release of his was Die Another Day. So this is the second last Pierce Brosnan one, which I've actually never seen. So I'm kind of looking forward to seeing this one. I always liked his portrayal of Bond, but I always felt that he kind of got so-so scripts. Some people really hate his movies with a passion. Like, they don't hate Pierce Brosnan, they just don't like his movies, his Bond movies, because they feel like the original series took a serious nosedive in quality at the time. Redeemed only by the reboot, of course, now in the process of happening with Daniel Craig. which, again, fans are divided on, so... Yeah, I guess it's the same with any really successful franchise. The fan base can never agree on anything. Some love stuff, some hate stuff, or they only like specific ones, or they don't like any of them and just like to, you know, their fandom comes from talking about how bad they think the whole thing is. Whatever. It's the same with James Bond, it's the same with Star Trek, it's the same with Doctor Who and Red Dwarf and Star Wars and pretty much anything you can think of that has a huge fan base. So anyway, myself, my take on it, I just like James Bond, you know? Yeah, I have my favorite movies, but that doesn't mean I think less of the other movies. I enjoy all of them, actually. All 20 of the original movies that I've seen anyway. There's still a few I haven't seen. This is probably my all-time favorite, though, Goldfinger. I was really excited to hear that this was coming out on Blu-ray. I should mention something about the Steelbooks this time around. A few months before release, there was some posts on the Blu-ray.com forums talking about how the Steelbooks this time around were going to be Amazon.com exclusives. And this sent a lot of fans panicking, like, oh my god, I can only get them through Amazon? Because, you know, myself, I like to be able to pick stuff up in a store, especially when there's multiple copies, because then you can pick through the copies that they have in stock and pick the best one. And that's what I really like to do, especially something like Steelbooks, where it's all too easy to get one with a big dent in it or something. You know, you want to really make sure you get a nice quality, you know, nice quality one for your shelf, to enjoy for years to come. So I said at the time that I highly doubted that they were going to stay Amazon exclusives. At most, I expected they would be exclusive to Amazon for about a week or two, and then show up in Best Buy and Future Shop. The previous Steelbook releases were Best Buy and Future Shop exclusives. So lo and behold, what happened? About 2 weeks after they appeared on Amazon, they showed up in Future Shop in huge quantities. I had so many to pick through and choose from and find the best ones, and I was very happy about that. Now, on the same day, March 24th, there wasn't just the next 3 classic Bond movies, there was also some additional stuff. Of course, Quantum of Solace came out the same day. It was just like uber Bond day, because not only did Quantum of Solace come out, which we haven't got yet, by the way, which is why I'm not showing it to you. Annette is collecting the Daniel Craig ones, so that's entirely up to her when she picks those up. In the meantime, we're just not wasting time with the Steelbooks, because we want to make sure that we get all of them. So far, in case you're wondering how many there are, there's actually 9 of the classic Bonds on Blu-ray. There were, of course, 20 originally. Sorry, I've got stickers stuck to my sock here. Rosie's got these sticker sheets she's been playing with, and they're all over the place. Keep finding them in random places, usually the bottom of my socks. What was I saying? Yeah, so there's 9 of the 20 classic Bonds available now on Blu-ray in both regular cases and Steelbooks, if you can find all the Steelbooks. Honestly, considering that the Steelbooks are supposed to be limited editions, they don't seem to be very limited. Like, we've never really had any problems finding them before. But, you know, just to be on the safe side, we wanted to grab them as they come out, just to make sure that we get them all. Plus, actually, Future Shop, when we picked them up, they were on sale. They normally go for $29.99 each, but they were on sale for $19.99 each. So, hey, Bond on Blu-ray in Steelbook cases for 20 bucks a pop? Sign me up. The other one that came out, of course, in addition to the 3 classics and Quantum of Solace, was kind of the black sheep of the Bond franchise. Not an official series Bond film, but still loved and hated by fans aplenty. Never Say Never Again. There you go. 1983 film, Sean Connery returning for the final time as James Bond. This, of course, for those who don't know, is actually a remake of Thunderball, or more accurately, it's a second adaptation of Thunderball, because the producers had the rights to the story. There was some, it's a horribly complicated story, but basically they were like this close to being sued throughout the whole gamut of the production because Albert Broccoli and associates did not want them making this movie because Bond was their baby. Not to mention the fact, summer of '83, the official Bond series had a new entry coming out, which I believe was Octopussy, if I remember correctly. So the producers of this one were actually pushing to have it released on the same day as Octopussy so they could have just an all-out battle of the Bonds at the box office to see who would reign supreme in the summer of '83. And the phone is ringing right when I get into my groove. I'll be right back. Sorry about that. Annetta calling from work on her break, as she often does. But her breaks don't always seem to be at the same time, so I can't sort of do the videos around her breaks because I don't know when they are all the time. Anyway, where were we? Battle of the Bonds, yes. I don't know what the exact figures are because I didn't bother to look it up before doing this video, but my understanding was, despite the fact that one was released about a week or two apart from the other, this one slammed the Roger Moore one in the box office. Yeah, so in the end, Sean Connery won the Battle of the Bonds. And is it any really surprise? Is it any surprise, really? Because, you know, Sean Connery just rocked as Bond. He was awesome. So anyway, unfortunately not available in Steelbook. It's just, but they did do a pretty deluxe edition. I mean, it's quite nice. And this, of course, being not a part of the official series and just kind of a throw-together release, I guess. They didn't give it the Lowry digital treatment, but, you know, this is definitely the most deluxe edition of Never Say Never Again that's ever been released. Because all of these new special features I don't think have ever been out before. So, anyway, pretty cool. Good stuff. So you want to see the whole thing together, don't you? You want to see all the Bond releases that we have so far, all spread out on the floor, all nice and neat? Yeah, I know you do. Okay, let's take a look. Yeah. So of course we got all the Sean Connerys along the top, and then we got the 3 Roger Moores so far, and the 2 Pierce Brosnans. So far, no Timothy Dalton, no George Lazenby, and yeah, I guess that's it, isn't it? Anyway, so there's the 9 Steelbooks that have been released so far, and then just to throw off the nice visual flow of everything, there's Never Say Never Again. So just have all the Sean Connery stuff together on the top there. I mean, it's pretty obvious he's the most popular Bond ever, considering that's how many they've released on Blu-ray so far of his. And yeah, anyway, awesome! I don't have time to give you the last little DVD update because we spent so long talking about Bond, but we'll do that next time. So until then, thank you for watching. The hell is my sign off? It's been so long since I did a video, I can't remember. From me to you, and in your shoe, sniff some glue. So, I'll see you! Welcome back. Well, welcome back. Well, the end of March showed stuff.